Welcome to the EPISD Bus Safety Briefing, brought to you by the Medical Reserve Corps, the Border RAC, and the 2017 through 2018 EMT chapter at the Center for Career and Technology Education. As a bus driver, you are required to be fully up to date on the important information regarding the buses you are driving. This training will update you as well as give you instruction on how to make sure all passengers are safe. The El Paso Independent School District has purchased an entire new fleet of newer model buses. These new models are built to meet the new law requiring all school buses to have seatbelts. This new policy comes just months after the fatal bus crash in April 2017, involving EPISD student athletes and coaches. As many of you know, a coach from Irving High School died, and 17 other passengers were sent to the hospital for injuries suffered in the crash. This incident brings up the importance of safety on a bus ride. According to the Center for Disease Control, in the year 2009, 53% of drivers and passengers killed in car accidents were not wearing restraints. These statistics showcase the importance of seatbelts and how they can help prevent tragedies similar to the accident that occurred in April 2017. Obviously noticed in these new buses is the presence of seatbelts. Apart from this, the structure of the bus still remains largely the same. The emergency exits are still at the sides in the middle of the bus, at the end of the bus, and at the roof in the center of the bus. The first aid kits are still by the entrance, across from the front where the driver sits, towards the upper part of the wall. The fire extinguisher is found on the floor, almost under the first aid kit, again by the very entrance of the bus, across from the front from where the driver sits. An important feature to remember is that the new seats are built to fit up to 3 passengers. How many passengers are able to fit in a seat, however, depends largely on the age and size of those seated. A new and important piece of equipment would be the Safe Cut seatbelt cutter. The seatbelt cutter is found in the storage compartment found closely to the left of the driver, and is used in a situation where a student's seatbelt must be removed quickly. The seatbelt cutter requires little effort to work, so long as the seatbelt is being pulled tightly, and it works as such. Here we also have an example of when a seatbelt cutter would be used in an emergency situation. In this example, a student is unconscious following a crash and cannot move. Anything from fire, an injury at the hip level of the passenger, or even a change to the frame of the bus because of an accident can make it dangerous to try and reach to unclip the belt. Also, the seatbelt might jam or get stuck. In this situation, the driver or nearest person will get the seatbelt cutter from the compartment at the front of the bus to the left of the driver, and will cut the belt by pulling it through the seatbelt cutter. Note that it is easier to cut the seatbelt when it is being pulled tight, so you might want to pull it with one hand while using the cutter in the other. Other little but noticeable differences of the bus include that the windshield is made of one whole piece with no separation, unlike the old buses which have a thick line separating the two pieces of the windshield. The reason for this is so that there is less blocking the vision of the driver, allowing for better focus while driving. Apart from the new features of the bus, it is important to know what you are responsible for as a bus driver. Apart from driving safely, the bus driver must prepare for the drive. Before leaving, the driver should walk up and down the bus to be sure everyone is correctly seated and has their seatbelt on. This is especially important with younger passengers such as kindergartners and early grade school students. They might have trouble or be confused with adjusting the seatbelt. Here's an example on how the seatbelt is adjusted. As you can see, the yellow restrainer can be moved up and down depending on how tall someone is. It is important that the restrainer is at the right level for shorter passengers to fit and still be safely secured. Be sure to check that there are no more than 3 passengers on each seat. Younger passengers might safely be able to fit 3 to a seat, but older students such as middle schoolers ages 11 through 14 and high schoolers ages 14 through 18 will likely only fit 2 to a seat. Be sure that all passengers fit completely in their seats, are not too crammed, and can be properly strapped in by their seatbelts. For students that require more space than others, consider making sure that an entire seat is set aside for them, as the seatbelt can stretch from one corner to the other to fit larger passengers. Apart from the seatbelts, be sure all passengers are not behaving in a dangerous way. First, warn the student that they are breaking rules and must stop. If a student refuses to put on their seatbelt for a reason other than a medical emergency, or does not stop a behavior after your warning, you are encouraged to get the help of any campus patrol, principals, or coaches present at the location you are leaving from to deal with the student, and possibly remove them from the bus. Feel free to do the same for any student that refuses to follow rules or becomes a danger to the safety of others. If such a thing were to happen midway to your destination, feel free to warn those who are breaking the rules that their behavior must stop or they will be disciplined by their administration. If you are close enough to where you left from, consider turning back and getting help from school administration and campus patrol. Likewise, if close enough to your destination, consider continuing as safely as possible and be sure to report what happened to any coaches, administration, or campus patrol nearby. If the behavior of a student becomes dangerous to themselves or others, consider pulling over as safely as possible, turning on the hazard signals of the bus, and calling the campus that the students came from for instructions. If necessary, call 911 to deal with dangerous passengers and emergencies where medical care is needed, such as a student who has passed out, is bleeding, or is otherwise at risk of injury. Regardless of any situation, it is important that you do not put the whole bus at risk of crashing. Your primary focus while driving is to be sure you are following all the rules of the road and driving safely, regardless if it's a phone call, unruly students, or the strong urge to take another sip of coffee. Do not become a victim of distracted driving. Distracted driving is defined by the Center for Disease Control as driving while doing another activity that takes your attention away from driving. Also, according to the Center for Disease Control, each day in the United States, approximately 9 people are killed and more than 1,000 are injured in car crashes that are reported to involve a distracted driver. If an emergency occurs, you are strongly encouraged to pull over and then deal with it to avoid falling victim to distracted driving. Remember that in the bus you can find a spill kit by the first aid kit. Remember that this kit can be used to help clean up spills such as vomit or any other such messes. The spill kit contains gloves and absorbents which can be used to clean up liquids, including bodily fluids. The first aid kit contains band-aids, gauze pads, antiseptic wipes, and sterile bandages, which can be used to treat cuts and minor injuries. With the help of the Fire Technician program at the Center for Career and Technology Education, we have prepared a video regarding how to operate a fire extinguisher.
Hi, my name is Jimalisa Jola. I'm from the Fire Tech program at CCTE. This is just a quick reminder how to use the fire extinguisher. All you have to remember is the acronym PASS. P stands for pull the safety pin. A stands for aim at the base of the fire. S stands for squeeze the handle. And S stands for sweep from side to side until the fire goes out. And this is just how you put out a fire. Hi, my name is Jimalisa Jola. I'm from the Fire Tech program at CCTE. This is just a quick reminder how to use the fire extinguisher. All you have to remember is the acronym PASS. P stands for pull the safety pin.